All right, and we are back with the Midwars tournament here. We have Straight Out of My Bed on the Hellburn side here versus Wild on the Legion sides. I'm once again joined by Gucci Donuts, and I'm still gonna just assume that you're doing well.
Yeah, all good here. Excited for this game. I've never seen Wild play in person, but I have seen Lona. I know they're a very strong team. They've won multiple Midwars tournaments in the past. Rudy, great coach, where he's like captain of their team. So expecting to see big things from Lona today. Yeah. So
how many of these teams that we have in this tournament are actually like veteran players, you would say?
Give me 1 second here and let me take a look at the bracket to answer that question.
Or how many did you recognize at least? So Lona for at least, right? The Hymnos Yaipen guys were definitely also Midwars veterans, I believe.
Yeah. This is Straight Out of My Bed is the name of the team this game, yeah. But I see a few of the Lona players here that are veterans here. So based off of the names on the bracket, I can't 100% answer that question, but I would say probably about 20
players, you mean?
Yeah, 20 veteran players about.
Okay.
Scattered throughout the teams, mainly on
probably Hymnos Yaipen.
Straight Out of My Bed, Hymnos Yaipen, and Project Kongor. And B Pro, sorry. And a little bit on Project Kongor. The Project Kongor team just being around for a while. And just kind of like recently getting into the now tournaments, but I have also seen them play by watching them scrim too. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So B Pro, it's funny that you mention it because I don't actually remember them ever playing a lot of Midwars.
Not too much Midwars, but I have seen them play in FOC. So when you're saying like veteran players, I'm thinking people have played in tournaments before, not just Midwars.
No, I mean specifically Midwars.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, mainly Lona. I guess Hymnos Yaipen has some maybe, but yeah, mainly Lona is what I'm seeing.
Yes, it matters a lot, like whether or not you know the meta, or if you got to figure it out all again from start every time you play, basically.
Yeah, TMG as well. I see there's like one TMG player on this team, and maybe there's some more on some other teams, but yeah, they're also veteran Midwars players as well.
Okay, so repeat picks we've seen at least now are Torture and Accursed. Accursed, as you said before, not removing the stuns with his W anymore.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really pick him up so much. I'm surprised I'm seeing him.
Well, it's still like a lot of healing, right?
Yeah,
and honestly, quite a lot of damage as well, because you for one, you still actually remove debuffs, which in some cases is like a lot of minus or a lot of damage. And not only do you like heal the target for X amounts, but you also deal that damage in a pretty big AoE.
Maybe just personal preference, but I just don't enjoy playing him as much as I enjoy playing other heroes, I would say.
Oh no, I could definitely see that. Like playing a curse is hell, because you're just sitting behind the enemy carry. Like in First of Calvadar for the same reason. Like you're just sitting behind enemy players, watching them play the game while you remove stuns every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems like he's more like monitoring the game and trying to make sure his team like wins instead of actually like. Some curse are good at curse will auto attack sometimes too if they go a little more semi carry, but I don't know. It's just not my type. I like more like mobility and initiation and things like. My favorite hero in the game is probably Bubbles, so maybe that'll tell you how I like to play.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, my favorite hero in the game is Blacksmith, so that should also tell a lot.
I hate you. No, I'm just kidding.
Sounds like you got multicast recently. That's what I'm hearing. So, like, one of the most like joyful moments I've had in HoN is Vulca playing like a Predator carry with like 2k HP. And me just like one-shotting him with a Blacksmith from full HP. And I was on Discord with him at the time as well. I was laughing my ass off, dude.
It really does depend on the multicast and the luck you get sometimes. Like
Yeah, but like you just keep trying, and sometimes it happens. And like if it doesn't happen, you're a race car simulator. That's the beauty of it. Anyway, so we see Shellshock again. War Chief, definitely interesting pick. I could see that being very strong late game, of course. But one thing I wanted to ask you: is Iker seeing any play?
Yeah, I mean the people who play Icor play main Icor, let's put it that way. Like he's someone that you really have to like master with timing and can be used very in very versatile position in Midwars and be very strong. The people who main him are very good at him. People who don't play him just, don't even want to bother learning what he actually does.
Yeah, but that's because like as some of the other S2 heroes, most of his text goes off screen if you hover over him.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. But, I love the War Chief pickup. Yeah, very, very strong hero in Midwars. The cooldown reduction is insane, especially if you pick up crowd control items on your team. Because then you can just, like, get 3 sheeps in instead of 2 in a fight, for example.
It doesn't work on team items. It only works on team abilities and items on yourself and abilities on yourself.
Yeah. But still, even if you get a crowd control item, it's just super...
Yeah, I could see it being very strong with the Shaman healing wave. Because that will go down to 3 seconds.
They have a lot of mobility. Because War Chief can port, Shellshock can port, and take his team with him. So this is on the Hellborn side. So I think that's really strong pickups by... Sorry, straight out of my bed. I'm so used to calling them Lona, but straight out of my bed.
You can just call them Lona, it's fine. But notably also, I see the Torture plus Shellshock combo again. I think that was very strong last game from B-Pro. Where the Torture chains would just, like, basically make positioning awkward. It makes it so you cannot easily run away from the shell.
I like that Flux is banned this time. I've also seen Flux Shellshock being a very strong combo because Flux can ult while Shellshock is rolling. So it's like you can't stop it, Shellshock's going to pull them to you, and Flux is just going to pull you all together. No stopping it. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, but the Flux, where Flux is like very dependent on your ultimate, sorry. So you kind of want another like big ability with it, right? Like Behemoth ultimate. And the Shellshock, I think, is like, especially the W, is more like an early game initiation tool than a late game initiation tool, I would say.
Yeah, if you use it late game, is just you can use it at the end of the fight again. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's usually too late or too slow, like late game, to really do something. So that's why I like Torture plus Shellshock a lot more than I like Flux with Flux with Shellshock. Emerald Warden.
I'm very interested to see the Emerald Warden pick up here. When War Chief dives in, when Shellshock dives in, that bird Gawain might be able to help with the silence and stuff. So. And then they might actually land into some traps. So I think it was actually kind of a smart pickup. Like, interesting.
Yeah, you can definitely like bait the enemies, right? The same thing if you would like pick Engineer, make a mine trap, and the guy that gets like rolled on just runs to the mines or something.
It's very rare you see Emerald Warden picked up in a game like this.
Well, Emerald Warden did also get like a small change, where his Q now has 7 seconds cooldown instead of like the 10. So it's a lot more spammable into the late game. What would you go like W, or like would you level W a lot?
Well, I would at least get 1 level in it, but it seems like Natura decided to go 2 levels in the trap. In the Overgrowth and 1 level in the Silent Shot here.
Yeah, because I think the Overgrowth, it gets killed too easy.
It can, yes, but it's very counterable here in Midwars as well. There's just one or 2 wards. We'll probably see most of them. But
yeah, but they're not getting hatchets though. That's one like argument for traps, I guess.
Yeah, if Emerald Warden places the traps more on their side, then they're playing more defensively and then stopping the Shellshock from really rolling in as much, hopefully. which I think is a smarter strategy here. So I would place them more on our side, on the Legion side of the river for now. But let's see what she has 2 levels in the traps, but hasn't placed any. So let's see.
Yeah, so you probably just like put traps everywhere.
Yeah.
With like, if they walk into it, then you know it's free real estate.
Correct. Trap them at your tower, pretty much.
It's not a lot of like AoE healing on the Legion side, so
yeah.
To me, it seems like they're getting out to rest at this point.
Yeah, a curse is not. I don't know, especially without the stun.
Well, like, yeah, a curse is not necessarily like, you know, sustain. A curse is more like burst healing, where you can like trade your life for some life on others, right? While something like an Amphora is sustain on the entire team.
He can also only heal like 1 or 2 people at a time, and they're doing a lot of AoE damage, harassing the entire team. So it's kind of have to pick and choose which one you want to keep alive and which ones are going to have to go back to the well.
Yeah, so how would you counter this if you were in this situation of the Legion side here?
I'm not seeing any vestments at all. And it's all like, magic damage coming their way. So.
Yeah, but is that really going to help you that much? Because it only like reduces the HP by, or like the damage by like 12%.
They've had to go back to the well, and they're going to have to keep going back to the well unless they pick up early vestments. So I'm not saying that it's like absolutely necessary, but you know, if you don't have strength boots and you're constantly getting harassed to where you can't even farm, it might just be worth it to have, so you can just stay without having to go back and get the experience that you need. Always, you can sell it later when you pick up your Shrunken Head. So. Yeah.
So Nihil Crystal's not really an item that's being picked up a lot, right?
I'm not even sure what that is, so no.
The green item. Relics, Nihil Crystal. When you take damage, you heal for 40 HP and 20 mana.
I'm not 100% sure. Sorry.
Basically, it's like it's just another sustain item, a cheap sustain item. But I guess it's just too slow region for like what is actually happening here. Oh, they're actually going in.
They're going in on Ward Chief. Cthulhu with the stun will kind of pay for that with the first blood.
Yeah, they were just too low, right?
Well, D-Sham had a huge save, actually. D-Sham's cape is a little more, like, and the heal is a little more, like, unexpected than people think, you know? And
oh, yeah, the cape for sure. It's a lot of healing, actually. No, but, like, the entire Legion team was, like, half HP there before the fight even started.
Yeah, and, like, this is going to be Rudy coming here with War Chief just doing a huge ton of harass. Same with Shellshock, trying to keep, and Torture, just trying to kind of keep the pressure on. And so they got 3 chalices here saying we don't need a mana ring. We'll just keep our own mana going here and let D-Sham heal us. And I kind of like that because it also gives them a lot of strength, which means that they can play a lot more aggressive early game. And
I do think like that getting mana boots on Torture is absolutely worth it though. Because the hero is so mana starved normally.
We'll see what ends up happening. I think it just depends. Yeah, in this case, I think the chalice is working out okay. And
yeah, for now for sure. But I would still go mana boots probably.
You'll notice like Hellborn rushed vests on because Legion also has a lot of magic damage, right? Alonia Rift, Cthulhu stun. And those vestments are kind of coming in handy now as they're staying alive. Being able to take that damage and stay in the fight and keep fighting here without having to go back, right? So the vestments kind of come in really well against that magic damage early. In the first 5 minutes of the game is really when vestments are the most useful. After that, it kind of starts wearing off.
Okay, so I look at it from perspective of like effective HP, right? If you have a lot of healing, you want to, like, you have a lot of effective HP. In like as a way to call it, where like if they would have to burst down not just the 800 HP that you have, but also the, let's say 400 health that the Mana Shaman can heal at that point. So in that case, yes, it would help a lot. But in the case of like Legion side here, the amount of healing is so low that it's like the investments alone won't really put you in a better situation, because you're still just taking like more damage than you can possibly heal up, unless you get something like an Astro.
That's like the first trap I'm seeing from the show right here. It's about time.
Yeah, I'd also say like in this situation, like the W from Emerald Warden would be way more useful, because you can just like kind of spam it.
Shellshock kind of coming in with an initiation here. Cthulhu with the counter initiation stunning in, but because the magic armor is not really doing much, and the Bishan. Alonia coming in with a beautiful ulti will be enough to take down the Torture. War Chief coming in, following up Rudy, cleaning up on Natura there. Emerald Warden will fall.
Yeah, that was...
Calamity getting stuck on the trap, will try to get killed by the Riftwalker, but War Chief providing a little bit of spamming assistance will say, hey, back up off my Calamity, and Calamity will walk out just fine. So, great fight there. 9-1, Hellborn side, but yeah, I expected a lot from Lona, and I'm seeing them bring their A game here. They picked A picks, they picked A items, and they're coordinating together, harassing nonstop. Real trouble for Legion. Real trouble for Legion here.
Yeah, it's not much you can do about it if like every fight that you do, you start at like half HP. I feel like maybe you just have like only 2 guys in front or something would help a lot more here. But then you're like sacrificing so many people. Because at the moment the problem is that like with every spell that the Hellborn uses, they are hitting like 4 targets, if not more. Oh, Chris is also going to die, I think? No? Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So Hellborn coming in with a strong initiation. Shellshock kind of diving in, not scared. Torture doing a lot of work here on the Riftwalker. Just huge lead here by Lona, 13-1. A curse not going to be enough here to sustain. They have very little magic armor just on the Cthulhu, which is not going to be a barrier or enough to keep his team alive. So Hellborn already took tower and the game. The GGs are called 1-16. Understandable. Great job by Lona. Should I say straight out of my bed. And good luck in your next game, sports teams.